All right, I got the kids in bed. Dogs were barking up a storm, so I had to get out of the house. But I wanted to respond to the video that you made about my article. Thank you for doing that, Dave. But I needed to call bullshit on the idea that it was a perpetuating division article, as you called it. I think that the article was newsworthy and reflected on the division that was already there, obviously. I kind of figured that if I called people like Kathy Inman and Mike Weissel, who is the state director of NORML, that I would kind of get the quotes that I did from them, because the initiative that Safer Arizona and you and Tom Dean and Alex Gentry and other people with Safer Arizona wrote is really not an attempt to unify the cannabis community or the community at large, really. It is a, as you said, it makes Prop 205, which is the previous marijuana legalization bill that failed in November. You said it makes it look like outright fascism, I believe was your quote. And, and it kind of does. It allows for like unrestricted possession and 48 plant count cultivation in people's homes. You told me the other day that that somebody could grow 48 plants in their house, that they owned, and they could sell the marijuana out of their house, and they would be only subject to a civic or civil fine of $300. Which is pretty low. And obviously, if that passed, then a lot of people would be doing that. It would be really tough for law enforcement and code enforcement to keep up with that. So basically, you could have neighborhoods that would, where people are turning their houses into commercial retail zones. That doesn't really unify the voters. There are about 600,000 cannabis users in Arizona, according to the state legislatives analysts, and not all of them are the hardcore daily user. A lot of them just use maybe every now and then, and so they may not feel like you do. And of course, your initiative doesn't give a attempt to unify the dispensary industry with the cultivation setup that you've designed. And yes, it's very free, but the dispensary industry is very powerful now. They've got millions of dollars that they probably would use to oppose any initiative that you manage to get on the ballot. And of course, they're not going to give money to you. So instead of an ally that has lots of money, you don't have them. And then it doesn't really give a nod to unify the hardcore conservatives and anti-marijuana people, like Yavapai County Attorney Sheila Polk, and those kinds of people. They raised, and Governor Doug Ducey, who helped raise $6.5 million to defeat Prop 205. And so your initiative has raised $906 in the last 3 months, and it's going to be really tough to defeat or to win when somebody's trying to defeat you and they've got millions of dollars to spend. And so who are you going to turn to? But of course you have to get on the ballot first, and the reason that the campaign only has $906 or only raised that much in the last 3 months is that there just aren't a lot of people that are willing to give to it. So people are saying, sure, I'll vote yes on it if you get on the ballot, but it's probably not going to get on the ballot. And so the other thing is, I just think that there are 3.6 million registered voters in Arizona. Most of them do not use cannabis. Of the 600,000 cannabis users, even, not all of them are registered voters. And so even if you say that half of them are registered voters, first of all, not all of them are going to support it. You may think they are, but that's just not how it works. And then there's the other 90% that just don't use cannabis. They're interested in maybe the freedom aspect of legalization if they're going to vote yes for something like this. But a lot of people aren't. They don't want to vote for it, and so you have to appeal to at least half maybe of the other 90% of the non-cannabis users. And so I'm not sure how your initiative does that. So I think that it is divisive itself. Anyway, have a good night. I'll see you later.